If you've ever felt as if you've missed out on some type of meme craze and thought to yourself, God, I hope I get another opportunity. Then the very next trading day, you get another opportunity. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. The memes are back, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the market. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. I tell you what, I hope that you folks had as relaxing of a weekend that I did, because it looks like we're going to need it based on what's going on today. Unless you've been living under a rock on Mars with your fingers in your ears, you know that the meme stocks are back and back in force here today. We're going to discuss that. I can't wait to hear about your opinions on what's going to happen. We're going to break all that down. In order to do this, I need to bring on my main man, 13. 13, how are you doing today? How was your weekend? Just start off.
Oh, my weekend was relaxing, just an easygoing one. Didn't do a whole lot. Just my son had a friend over, and that was about it. Just kind of hung out. Didn't do a whole lot. Let's dive into the market, though. This is more interesting than what happened with my weekend, though.
Okay. All right, let's do that. So great. Welcome back. Let's just get right into it. You're right. I guess I should go ahead and say good morning to everybody here. Nicholas, Market Sniper, Robert, Bernard, Jane, Vera, EKS, Beach Bum. Welcome back, Beach Bum. I know you had a good weekend living on the beach. Eva, great to see you again. Roman, Sydney, Jacques, welcome back, everybody. Before we go ahead, or before we continue here, I just want to mention that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you want to participate in this GME madness and you just don't have the funds, perhaps Trade the Pool is the way to do it. And if you just simply need some more buying power so you can mess around with the meme stocks, Trade the Pool also might be able to help you out there. Last shout out for them. Learn the Pros Playbook Live going on today here. Link in the description below. So be sure to check that out if you need help. We, in the meantime, are going to be discussing all of the action. Crow, don't even think that we are going to forget about natural gas. We've got GME going, but we also have that natural gas move that is currently going. We're going to talk about it all, so strap in. Don't worry. All right. First things first, 13. Let's go ahead and start with the SPY. Let's just kind of get this out of the way, and then we'll dive into some of the meme craze and some of the other stocks. Believe it or not, there are actually other stocks that are moving on fundamentals here today. We're going to take a look at that too. But the SPY here looks like we had a big move up here on Friday, right ahead of the close. We actually held those gains into the close. We're holding them here in the pre-market. Actually looks like the pre-market is trying to drift a little bit higher here. We'll see what happens when that meets the opening print, if we're able to hold this level or maybe come back in. SPY here on the daily looks like we kind of dipped down towards that 50-day moving average and bounced pretty good. I have a low print there of right around 518, 516 and change was that 50 days. So we didn't quite touch it, but we got down there and we bounced pretty good. This, generally speaking, this looks like a pretty good hammer candle on your daily here. We now seem to be bouncing back up. I've got those highs at about 533. 13, what do you think here on the SPY maneuvers?
Well, 518 and 30 cents was the level I had marked off. We got within 6 cents of that on Friday. And as soon as we did, we just turned right around and started moving back up and blasted off through 521. So the downside target was, it was great to see that we got that, but I was not thinking that we were going to see this kind of movement after we touched that level. This was a huge dip buy, and I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go from here. I think that we need more of a correction or pullback than what we got since last Thursday or a couple Thursdays ago. But 530 is the next upside target I have. And we've seen significant resistance happen at that level. So we'll see what happens when we get to 530. Still 530 and 527 are just kind of the range that we're in at the moment. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Nick even though Nick is not on our stream, he's out here breaking news. I just wanted to let everyone know that I graduated from high school on Friday. Nick, congratulations.
All right.
Best of luck on the next steps ahead for you, Nick. Really, really awesome stuff. Always a friend of the show here. So cheers. Cheers. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's just go talk about the big elephant in the room. As they say, that is going to be GME. Let me get you an intraday chart here. We're going to mark off some favorites too, because I'm going to be coming back to a lot of these. Give me one sec here. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Let's take a look inside here at the GME chart. So, okay, first of all, what's going on? I mean, I was just joking earlier. I'm sure some of you probably touching grass and enjoying your weekend, not really paying attention to what's going on Reddit boards online, and you probably have a happy life because you're doing that. So all jokes aside here, we had I was kind of processing this secondhand. Just shout out to several of my friends and people that I know reaching out to me, telling me about what's going on with the whole thing here. Apparently, Roaring Kitty, who now is his own stock influencer, evidently. But anyway, Roaring Kitty posted an image of the Uno reverse card. It was green. I'm not sure if that matters or not. To be quite honest with you folks, I'm not really sure how all of this meme mechanics work, and I don't want to pretend to be an expert. I'm here for the ride, and we're going to take a look at it and analyze it as best we can, but I'm not going to act like I know what all of these little things mean. So the Uno reverse card, I guess GME is reversing as it's up. It was up over 100% earlier today. It's up 70% now. The Uno card was green, so apparently we reversed to the green. Now I feel like I'm decoding something here. So,
oh God, what happens when he puts down a draw 4?
I don't know, dude. And that's what I'm thinking. Like draw 4, like wild, like there's all kinds of stuff that can go. If we're going to start using Uno rules in the stock market, look out. And this is kind of, I just don't know what's going to happen next. Now, again, all kidding aside here. For those of you that follow Unusual Whales on Twitter, done a great job outlining how lots of calls and stock were getting bought into this move. And then it turns out that the fund or all of these big whale insider transactions turns out to be DFV and or Roaring Kitty. Again, I'm not entirely sure how that all works, and I don't want to speak incorrectly here in an attempt to analyze this. So all of that happened, and we woke up to GME up over 100% here today. If you take a look at this intraday pre-market chart here, two things stand out to me right off the bat. Number one, the fact is that this move, at least so far, this move is holding. So this is not to be disrespected. I am not sure that the strategy of, I'm just going to smack this short right out of the gate, I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm certainly not going to be doing that. Maybe it does end up working. Maybe the price does come in a little bit here. But to me, that actually seems like gambling. This has done a really good job holding its gains. And then furthermore, the volume here also tells a pretty good story, right? And actually, if you take a look here, my charts are in Central Time. So this 6 a.m. time, this actually represents 7 a.m. Eastern. Look what happened. A lot of brokers don't allow pre-market trading until 7 a.m. Look at the volume. This actually traded up to its high. These people are underwater that are new buyers right in here. So a lot to shake out here today. I definitely think this is probably going to be one of the number one targets today, not only for just our community, but just for traders in general. This has all of the other meme stocks going. So yes, AMC is going, COS is going. What were some of Reddit, the forum that this was on, that's moving here. So there's actually a lot of different stocks that we can trade here today. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. Now, if you ask me, well, what do you think the next move is going to be here? Honestly, I don't know. If I was applying just regular stock analytics to this, I would say that we're probably going to pull back here. This seems to be some tweet, influencer. We've got massive profit. Anyone that bought on Fridays in profit, they're probably going to take some of those gains. That would work with something that follows the rules. But one of the things that we've seen about this entire cohort of stocks is that they seem to make their own rules. And I'm not going to try to apply I am going to try to apply logic to this, but I'm not going to say it has to work this way and whatever. I'm going to be open to whatever GME does here. So 13, I'm sorry for just rambling way too much there. Had to get that off my chest. What do you think about the GME action here? And chat, I want to hear what you folks think too. Bring it.
So, if there's a trade that's in there, then, we can definitely go for it. But, just understand the risk here with trading this. Like you said earlier, there's a lot of bag holders already in this morning, just from that spike that we had. So what I'm going to be watching for, if you want to go to a 5-minute chart, I can show you what I'm looking at. We're kind of forming a bull pennant here. Now, what I want to see is a breakout to the upside, because that would be a correct resolution of this pattern. But if you draw a line from the two top wicks that we got this morning, just kind of draw that trend line in the direction they go, which is down, and then draw the same trend line on the two wicks on the bottom, and you'll basically get your pennant formation. I'm going to be looking for these two trend lines to see which one breaks first. I would think that the one on top breaks first, but
did I do it right?
Yep. So that's
I get an A in arts and crafts class today.
There you
Let's
go.
go. We start out with A's.
So if we break down from the trend line on the bottom there, then I think that I'm not going to take this off my screen and not look at GME anymore, because I think that the trade is over and the pattern kind of failed. But if we bounce off this level and start trading up to where we're going back up to where those wicks were on top, then we could end up breaking out of this formation like we should and go higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with this. It's putting in a positive formation. We just need to see this price get picked up down here where it's supposed to bounce off the bottom of this trend line.
Okay. Real good stuff. I can definitely appreciate you taking some type of technicals and applying some chart analysis to this. I'll be honest. Other than kind of watching the pre-market highs, lows, and some of those changes of direction, I'm going to keep referring to this. I think you got something here with the pennant. It's very, very easy to understand. What do we think, or do we know if any of these formations have also formed on any of these other names? No. So I'm just spitballing as we're talking here. Looks like AMC really kind of showing you more of a downward trajectory than that particular than GME, than the pennant on GME. Gosh, easy for me to say. Sorry about that, folks.
This one's more of a flag than a pennant, though, because you can still draw the trend lines from the bottom wicks, and
that's what I mean. To me, it seems GME better.
Yeah,
better formation. Reddit here not breaking down as much. This one will be interesting too, just to see what's going on here. Love some of the comments here. This is exactly why I wanted to bring this up. I absolutely love what you folks are getting involved with here. Okay, real quick. Just wait until the string of profanities starts memeing Magic the Gathering cards for his trades. That would be something else. We will be in a new world. If I see a Black Lotus make an appearance in this meme craze, I don't know what to think about that. Okay. Or Mind Over Matter, or some of those crazy blue cards that just change the entire game. Sorry for nerding out there, Voodoo. I love the Magic the Gathering name drop here.
Looks like the fun might be over with MBot.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that. I'm sorry, I'm taking too long here. We're definitely gonna get to that. Jay Rice, we're gonna get to nat gas too, but I'm gonna highlight this because I actually think this comment is spot on. Nat gas and nuclear going higher because both become cheaper alternatives to power the AI names. So I think you're gonna get a lot of reasonable people, we'll just say it like that, are gonna move away from some of the solar, wind, ultra green eco craze, because you realize that that's just not feasible for powering what we're trying to do. AI is here. AI is here to stay. It's not going away. There's no way wind and solar are going to be able to power these use cases. And as Jay Rice is mentioning here, nat gas, nuclear, both better options. And you're starting to see that get reflected here. I think there's something to that, Jay, and we're absolutely going to cover that here. Ray, hello, good morning, Ray. I would never short after a positive catalyst. GME, giddy up, dude. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in this entire move, but still, I'm not going to short this. Are you kidding me? I don't want my face ripped off. I've seen what this does. I'm not dumb. Robert saying, I'm not going to hold GME today, not anything large. Justin's telling me to be quiet because there's a lot more room to go up. Okay, I don't want to upset any of the crowd there. DJ AF, GME, a great short in the 50 to 60 range. Definitely call those out. Let us know. Jay Rice, another really great thought here. Kitty showing his hand may eventually be a bad thing. This is the interesting question for me because so far it seems that whenever Roaring Kitty shows his hand, it creates a bunch of volatility in the stock. Now, I actually just saw on CNBC, Joe Kernan was asking, well, how could this be legal? Dude's buying, $200 million worth of options last week and then makes a tweet over the weekend. The stock trades up by 100%. I mean, that seems shady. At least that was his position. It's not necessarily mine. So I don't know. It seems to be a good thing for him, right? He seems to be making, I think he's close to several $100 million worth of profit in this whole thing.
That from last time?
Well, see, that's the other thing that I've seen floating around on Twitter. That I've seen people trying to and I don't know. I don't follow other traders. To me, I measure myself against myself. I don't measure myself against other traders. That's one of the reasons why I'm still sane. But anyway, there are people on Twitter that are following all of these different positions. And there were a couple of people speculating, well, if he was able to make this much money, how is he now able to get this much of a position? I mean, dude could have all different types of investments and other finances and revenue streams. I can't make decisions off that, but it's an interesting conversation to follow nonetheless. Jay brings up an even more interesting point. When is this going to actually hurt him, or is it going to hurt him? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Okay, you folks are absolutely crushing it with comments here. I'm way too far behind. All right, 13, let's go to the movers list. We only have 10 minutes before the market opens. Let's talk about some of these other movers that actually have some fundamentals, and then we'll get back and assess what's going on. Does that work for you?
Yeah, and while you're talking, I'm watching the GME kind of break out down beneath that bullpen, and it's trying to get back inside the pattern, but looks like down is the direction it's headed for the moment. But let's stop talking about that.
Before we do that, I have an excellent question that I not only am I going to answer, but I'd like the group to answer this as well. My granddaughter just graduated from high school. First of all, translations, stages of growth. Congratulations to your granddaughter. Very much like Nick. Congrats. And asked what she needs to do to learn to trade stocks. Well, so first of all, I love seeing young people getting involved in our industry. I wish that this happened more. There's a lot that goes into stock trading, market mechanics, and all of that. And I think that it's really, really smart that young people get involved in this. So your comment here is extremely exciting for me personally. Now, as far as what does she need to learn about stocks, I would start reading some books. We have a great book list here at Benzinga. I'll go try and track that list down. She should start getting into things that she's interested in. Start following companies that she knows. If she has an iPhone, follow what the news flow for Apple. Follow what they're planning. Learn why Apple is such a dominant stock and why having such a powerful balance sheet, what that allows them to do. Basic fundamental things like what a balance sheet, an income statement, and a statement of cash flows are. All good places to start out. If you folks have book recommendations for our community member here, please share them. Please share them. Reading is the best. Read. Totally. Whether you're reading news, reading books, read. 13 and I, we are both avid readers. We still read now. I read in the morning. I read during the day. I read at night. Keep that up. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these real quick. First one here is going to be BPTH. Let's take a look at the chart so we can appreciate what the move is here, and then we'll break it down like a fraction. So here you go, BPTH. This had actually 3 impulse moves to the upside. All of the corrective moves have been bought. The current corrective move is getting bought right now. We'll see if it actually takes out the high or if this turns into a regressive move when the market actually opens. Catalyst here is as such. Let me go ahead and have my news load. Why are you going to lag on me right when I'm trying to do this? I mean, are you kidding me? Okay. BioPath Holding presents data from an ongoing phase 2 combination study of one of its drugs that has a PR and an X in it that I'm not going to try and pronounce for the treatment of acute myeloid leukemia at the American Society of Clinical Oncology annual meeting. So you're getting a PR here. This is driving BioPath Holdings higher. 13, what do you got on this one?
It looks like that word's pronounced Prexagerberson or Geberson.
Hey, you're a braver man than I this Monday morning, dude.
But yeah, so this is just just interim data from their phase 2 clinical trial. So the trial is not over yet. They just are basically presenting what they have so far to the American Society of Clinical Oncology, their annual meeting. So there's going to be more phase 2 data coming out later. So there's future catalyst. They do have a 1.65 million share float, and they did do a 1-for-20 reverse split back in February on the 23rd. Aside from that, don't have anything else on why this is moving, but it's just that presentation of the phase 2 data. But there's future moves ahead of this. So, if we don't get the trade you want today, maybe there's going to be one later.
Yeah, no, real good stuff. Okay, and you know what? I think that this might be one of those things where that first trade is kind of like the first move, I should say, not the first trade. That first move is kind of the setup move. Maybe it pulls back, maybe it just shoots out of the gate and then kind of flags there. I'm going to probably stay away from this until it shows its hand and then try and calculate or trade the next move. We'll see. A couple of really good things to go over here. A couple of things. Interesting items here. So regarding the advice for the young person that wants to get involved here, paper trading, absolutely. Becca saying, get her BZ Pro as a graduation gift. I love hearing this. Before we get it for her as a gift, let's at least give her a trial. Benzinga Pro, remember, has a 2-week free trial, no credit card required, literally nothing that you have to do. If you have trouble with that, if you have questions about that, you can always email me. I would happy to set this person up with a trial that has no obligation on the other end. A couple of really good book recommendations or author recommendations here. Voodoo is something pretty practical. She needs to get a job, earn a living on her own, and learn to be responsible with finances before she gambles in the stock market. Might seem a little harsh on the surface, but there's a lot of truth in here. Marie, I love this. Started my kids when they were young with names they knew, like Activision. They held it through the buyout from 14 to 95. Let's go, Marie. Remember when I was young, I kept trying to get my parents to buy the Google IPO. I was like, just buy that Google IPO. We'd all be millionaires if that had happened, but it did not happen. With you on that one. Okay.
Real quick with PTH. I just was looking at some of the history on this one, and this one ran a lot more than it did today from previous news catalysts. You can see the last time that we were up here in February, that was off the reverse split. A couple other news headlines as well. The last time that we had a spike up into the 7 handle back in April was from a direct offering. So it's possible that we could see some more upside that gets us up to these higher levels, but it might not be from today's catalyst, but the clinical trial phase 2 completing and the results of that might get it up there. So keep this one on your radar. This one has had some higher price action than today based off news that was better than today's.
Okay. Real good stuff there. Here, I'm going to go to I'm going to skip GME and AMC because I suspect we're going to be talking a lot. By the way, BPTH, possible pre-market high break as we speak. Keep an eye. Next one here, though, that 13 mentioned, MBOT. Right, we had talked about this a little bit already. It looked like this was trying to go. This is Microbot Medical. You can see this was a $1 stock flirting with penny territory that has popped up to a 133 high here in the pre-market. Did that on a PR here. Microbot Medical has received FDA approval to proceed with its pivotal human clinical trial. So looks like we're getting approval to proceed with a human trial. 13, correct me if I'm wrong, but the data out of this trial is really going to be what's important, correct?
Yeah, because this is, I think this is kind of close to nothing burger. They just got approval to start a trial. So congratulations, you just got permission to spend money. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, they've had other news before. You can see back in late December, they had a big old spike on exercising outstanding preferred investment options. So, there's other bigger news out there that can be had with this one. I don't think this is really, that important. Of course, trade it if you can find trades, but it might not provide a whole lot today, just based on what the headline that they gave.
Yeah, to me, this has the makings of what feels like maybe a gap and move back here. I think with some of the other stuff that we got on the board, at least wait for this to set up. Real quick, in some non-stock market news here, we have a new highest paid NFL non-quarterback player is Justin Jefferson. JJ or Jay Jetta, whatever you want to refer to him as, just signed a $140 million 4-year deal. Highest contract for a non-QB player in the history of the league. Business is booming. Okay, next here, one of the other stocks that I really wanted to cover here is actually going to be Summit. This is one that we talked about last week. I had a huge piece of news last week that really kind of popped this. We're popping again here in the pre-market. Summit Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company announced that it had received marketing authorization in China for one of its drugs in combination with chemotherapy. Also, the company announced that it accepted an unsolicited offer from an institutional investor to purchase 22,222,222 shares of stock at $9 per share, and will use the net proceeds to advance clinical developments of said drug. Yeah, I mean, the shares, just someone, if your lucky number is 2, this is a really good PR. This is a really good thing. This just seems really, really kind of strange, although it does really seem like good news here. SMMT likely to be, or to continue to be in play. Do you have anything else on this one?
I'm still a little skeptical about this company, just because I don't know that they've had any peer review done by non-Chinese, scientific communities. So it's a big question mark for me. The fundamentals seem pretty good. I mean, this is all true, then that's great. $9 a share. You're already beyond that. So I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna trade this to some, just be careful. Understand that this is another China name. That's what all I have to say about this.
Summit Therapeutic shares raised $200 million. Stock rises on the financing deal. So okay, we'll take a look here. Did you have anything else that you wanted me to cover besides the meme names? 13. Did we hit everything on your list? Well, we're open, so we're open. So anyway.
let's trade.
Let's trade. That see that is the confessions of a stock market addict right there. Let's trade. Let's do it. I'm going to get GME up here. I'm going to flip over to Trade the Pool and get the broker execution on here right away. GME, by the way, did pop right to 40. Looks like it's battling that 40 level right here out of the gate.
Summit is diluting the stock.
GME.
All right. What do we have moving right now at the gate?
Tom saying, I appreciated Summit last week. Paid for my coffee and my croissant. Okay, awesome. Hopefully that was good.
It's fantastic.
BPTH getting called right out of the open here by Crow. That is going higher here. My strategy on BPTH is wait for a setup. I don't necessarily want to chase any of these things right out of the gate just for the hell of it. Kind of want to wait for them to set up first.
So it looks like GME is bouncing off that lower trend line that we drew. So this could end up going up into the 44 handle if this resolves correctly.
Okay, so let's talk about strategy here. And again, I'm just kind of doing this out loud because this is not my forte, meme stocks, that is. If this holds here, did we halt? No.
I don't think we did.
I don't see it on here. No.
Oh, wait, it did say it's halted. It's halted now for me. It's weird because on Benzinga's
the halt tool didn't catch it. I wonder what happened there.
Well, I'm looking at my broker. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at my broker too. Okay, GME looks like it's halted to the downside here, right at 38 even. Interesting. Okay.
All right, well, I'll come back to that later.
Yeah, I was going to say, so there are probably other meme names are open, right? Those aren't halted. AMC here is still kind of going back and forth. How's Reddit doing out of the open here? Reddit holding. Actually, the volume really kind of dried up here on Reddit. This doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot.
Well, let's see what is getting all the attention.
FFIE moving down. Remember, this kind of joined that. Joined the meme craze. I'm sorry, that was not enough of a sentence there.
BPTH had a spike to 455, and now that's coming in.
Exactly why I didn't want to chase that out of the open, by the way.
He's done
Chewy here.
resurrected.
Chase mentioning Chewy here. Love this. You know what? Love the daily formation here on Chewy too. I'd actually like to see this go higher. You know, for a possible swing trade here, I know this isn't as sexy as the meme names here, but let's take a look. July, looking at Chewy here. Tell you what, those July 22.5 contracts are $1.27 ask. And I'll tell you what, let me bring this up on. Let's see if we can come up with a swing trade here. Let me bring Pro back up here. Let's take a look at Chewy. 13. If you got something, interrupt me. Don't worry.
Yeah, MBOT just made new highs.
Okay. So real quick here on Chewy, here's the thought. We have this move up, right? We're kind of pressing against 22. Calls we're looking at here are 22.50. So we're pretty much at the money here. If we take a look at the daily chart here, this is the formation that I'm talking about. I'd love to pop this. Think that this probably measures up towards 25. That's going to be your next resistance area. That would put these calls in the money by several points. Seems like a decent swing here. I got no position on this, but I'll let you know if I take these. I might start bidding these calls here on Chewy.
Nice mention, Ron Willis, with CRM. So this one got beat up pretty bad last week. So we're seeing a nice rebound here this morning with this one. Let me take a look at the daily chart.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So so Friday was, one such day because, man, the whole market was just down. And then that was a massive dip buy. And then it just pulled the market back up, and we ended up almost, right where we started with the week. So that was a pretty good bounce off the. I think this got lower than 211 or 212. Let's see, it's showing that on the daily that 212 was the low. I thought we got lower than that in after hours or pre-market. Anyway, there's a large gap to fill to the upside. We're almost there. The gap that we're in. So there's two gaps. There's one from the 2023, November to December 2023. That was on the 30th of November. The low that day was 243.65. So that would be where the price could end up topping out at and maybe reverse. But if it doesn't, then it looks like we're going to try and fill that gap that we just put in from the earnings, which was on May 29th. And I'm sorry, May 29th. And then that low is 267.70.
Oh, I had the wrong screen up this whole time. I'm sorry.
No worries.
My bad. 13. I think you're absolutely right on those levels there, though.
Yeah. So 244. Let's just round it up and call 244 the next upside target. Let's see if we get there.
Okay. GME. So here, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on with that.
NVIDIA lifting the market again. That's up almost 4%.
GME is still halted here. By the way, it looks like my tool caught up here. So that might have just been a delay right around the open as all of those prints were going by. We're good here now. Let's take a look at some of these.
Yep, Costco also getting a nice move too.
What is?
Costco.
Gotta love it. Mm-hmm. Gotta love it when Costco's getting a nice move. Tell you what, look at that. We talked about every time that this stock dips, it ends up getting bought. Look what happened in the last earnings. Things sold off, immediately went higher. Continuing to move here as well. Boyle on the move. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can't bring up Boyle here in Trade the Pool. See if I can bring that up here in Pro.
I am. I'm sorry, not MBOT getting pushed up higher too. Now having a high of 151. This has a 12.69 million share float, so it is going to get pushed around a bit. But just be careful with this one. I have a bad feeling it's going to create bag holders. Okay, so GME is open now
and knifing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of falling out of this pattern a bit here. Let's let me pull this up and see what that looks like.
Did fill some of those Chewy contracts, by the way. So I'm in the July 22.5s looking for Chewy to break higher.
All right. So
new swing trade put on.
Yeah. So that GME, that's fallen out of that pattern.
Look at that.
I'm not interested in this anymore, but if you are looking for a bounce trade, you could probably get that maybe at about 22.30, 35.
I was going to say, I think actually, nope, they didn't hold it there and it actually moved lower. The time and sales looked like it might halt again. I'd love to know, what is the group doing with these? Whoever's trading these, what are you doing? What are you seeing? Would love to hear. Getting a report here that AMC is halted to the downside. That there at 495, AMC is in fact halted. Clearly the Benzinga Pro signals tool here working just fine.
MBOT is on a tear right now. There's a wall at 180. So if it goes through that, it could get up to, I think it could get up to $2.
Oh my God, look at MBOT rolling here. Gosh, and here, look, as soon as this popped, this pre-market, the volume really just kicked into high gear. This thing rolling higher here. So that this break, when everything is good, when the market feels like it makes sense and everything is good, this is the setup that I love to trade on these smaller names, especially if you get this kind of double topping action and you're able to bust through that on volume. This is the upside range break that I love so much. This has been the minority in all of these moves here. Fewer stocks are actually doing this, although MBOT giving it to us right out of the gate here.
So I just want to address what somebody was saying. Look at SCFU was saying, look at S. Very interesting. Yeah. So with this one, a little bit slower of a mover, but I'm looking at the daily chart with this one. And I see that we sold off quite a bit on Friday, try to get back up, and we didn't fill that gap yet. So that gap fill finishes at 1924. So we could see some upside all the way up to there. Not saying it will happen, but it's possible.
Okay, and then what was this here on S? Looks like they had earnings on Thursday, and then it had a slew of re-ratings, or were these price target adjustments? Let me get that for you. Maintained by, lowers price target, reiterates market outperform, maintains price target, maintains. So it looks like they got a bunch of price target re-ratings after an earnings print that sent them down. I guess you could call that a defense, right? A lot of these houses coming out and defending the name. Maybe we do go higher here. Maybe we do bounce here.
But I think that really helps the case for filling the gap. So, I mean, it's a pretty sizable gap that was created too after earnings. Like I said, 1924. That's the low. That's where we could the price could get up to.
Okay. I had asked you guys, I would love to hear what you folks are doing with these positions. Some of you answering me here. Gary, I sold most of my GME overnight around 40. Okay, so I'm assuming you had that much lower, so that looks like you at least booked profits in there. That's awesome. GME is stabilized. We'll go back there. Actually, it does look like it's bouncing here off that 34 level. I'll go back there in a sec. VKTX red to green, saw some stuff floating around on Twitter about this being kind of an attractive buy here, Jay. I actually have no position in that now, but I'd love to at some point here. So VKTX, let's see. Daddy Backstrap, this is why I appreciate Ryan. I'm looking at selling the $4 AMC puts that expire this week. So really short-term trade here. Last priced around 17 each, so almost 30% yield. $4 was a major support level from that spike. So it looks like you're trying to, let me get this right. You're selling puts here, right? So it looks like you're thinking it bounces off that 4 and goes higher, Daddy Backstrap. Let us know how that rolls. Let me go back to GME here off Sentinel 1, and we'll take a look at it.
Chewy also in the 22 handle, trying to hold it.
Here is Chewy. We'll see if it can get above 22. Again, I'd really like to see this break and move towards 25 over the next several days here. Like I said, this is a swing. This is not a day trade, so I'm not trying to. And I did this via the options market, by the way. Did this via the options. This was the 22.5 call that expires in July. Not a whole lot of volume there, but some decent open interest. So those should trade, especially as the stock continues to move. Would love to see a move here from Chewy's.
Penn is getting a mention right now. They have a nice green candle that they just put in, got as high as 1818. Coming back in a little bit here. Let's see if we can hold this 1785 level here if it gets down to that. I think that'd be the level it needs to hold if we're going to see some more upside. And MBOT, yeah, MBOT still doing pretty good. Just be careful with them, but I don't know when this is going to turn around and be done.
Penn, by the way, some news last week from our sports betting and gaming conference. So if you're a pro member, be sure to check that out. If you guys want me to read you those news posts, be happy to do that. MBot, let's talk about that one. That one seems to be a mover.
Robinhood just sold Justin R's GME option without his permission. I hope that's not the start of the same thing we saw last time.
Yeah, Justin, get more information about that and report back to us. Would love to know what's going on there. By the way, that GME stabilization bounce that we just talked about, that was short-lived. GME rolling over here.
See what happens at 31.50. That'll be the first spot I'd look for a bounce.
Daddy Backstrap, adding to your trade plan there. The trade plan is to simply extract implied volatility, as AMC will probably settle with its volatility around the $4 level. Okay, so you're basically trying to capitalize on the IV bump that we got here, thinking as this kind of dies out, it will continue to die out, number one, and then positioning yourself around a support level. I see it. I like that.
BPTH not looking great so far. Maybe it'll find some support in the 340 handle area.
BPTH. This is, look, that fake pop right out of the open and to an immediate reversal. That's kind of a bummer there. GPS getting mentioned. Mark, I saw that you mentioned this. Someone else mentioned it earlier here. This is Gap post those earnings continuing to move higher here. Tell you what, retail, some of these retail, how's Abercrombie doing? That's one I love to check. The Abercrombie looks like after its move up here, kind of regressed back to the mean, but maybe curling back up here. How's Lulu doing? We took a look at that around 300 recently. That looks like it's just stopped near its 20-day. Anyway, some of these retail names looking pretty decent. Gap continuing its strength here, GPS.
Yeah, and we have a CPI report coming up on the 12th. That's the same day that the FOMC makes their decision on rates. I'm going to be looking to see if apparel prices are going to continue or still, rising, because I've been, as I've been mentioning, that last CPI report showed us that apparel prices are rising, and I thought that might lead to a stronger quarter for apparel retailers if they are seeing higher margins as a result of rising prices. So this is something I'm kind of watching. And so far, we've been seeing some of these apparel retailers guide a higher Q2. So I think we're onto something. SMR.
What happened?
It died, it looks like.
It looks like it died. I mean, this is saying it's down 98%.
Wow.
I mean, like, what happened here? Like, I'm asking honestly. I don't know. New scale power shares halted on circuit breaker to the downside. Stock down now 98.5%. I mean, yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm not sure what's going on here.
This is a company that does the modular light water reactor nuclear power supplies.
We've traded this recently. I feel like SMR. By the way, GameStop continuing to move lower here. 31 now on GameStop. Nvidia. Why is Nvidia falling? I mean, it is up, dude. I don't understand what the problem is here. This is actually up. This moved up out of the open, came back to its VWAP. Looks like it's moving up again. I don't think there's anything going on here in Nvidia.
Nvidia is on the day is up 3.8%.
Yeah.
Let's we could take a closer look and see what is.
Yeah, SMR. Jay Summers, he hit it right on the head here. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah. Look. I'm glad I'm not in this. I'm glad I'm not really messing around with this. I don't know really what's going on here. Tracy saying, wow, I almost bought some SMR this morning. Woo. Sometimes the good trades are the ones you don't make. Am I right, Tracy? Glad you didn't get hurt on that. Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot I don't know here. As far as the volume, I'll tell you what my thing here at 62,000 shares is what that move happened on. Daddy Backstrap, there was no news, at least not that I can see. Let me check the Twitter streets here. Let me check the Twitter streets here. Now you guys have to give this a grain of salt when it comes to it, because we don't know how much of this is actually here. I'll change my Tarkov one. That's fun. I had a Tarkov column here, but I'll change this now to hashtag SMR and see if I can't get us some news here.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something that has to do with funding or some kind of, maybe there was some kind of nuclear problem. I don't know. I'm only speculating.
I don't see. Yeah, see, like other people on Twitter here saying the same thing. They don't see any news. This is definitely a rug pull. But I mean, like, I'm trying not to just give you guys the obvious stuff. I'm trying to actually figure out what's going on here. I mean, look, be careful with some of these names. I'll let you know if I see anything come across the wire here. But I don't see. I see a lot of people asking questions. Sorry.
I see one article that might have something to do with it. I haven't read through it yet. It just came out today. USA plans new cooperation to support Ghana SMR plans. So I'm wondering if this is not the company that's associated with these plans here, because if it's not, then there's some other company that might be eating this one company's lunch, and I just don't know which one it is. But let me link this to you, and we can,
okay.
I'll just read it.
You want me to throw this on screen? Is that something that we should kind of break this down?
If you want, I haven't read it yet, but
okay. So. By the way, Gary mentioning Summit here. Summit actually decent trading action. Volume's a little bit light. It moved down. It recaptured its VWAP. It looks like it's trying to go higher here on Summit. I don't know that we have a trade yet here, but this is definitely bears one worth watching. I mean, Gary, you had said this on its way back to 10. I mean, totally. It's only 25 cents away. It could easily hit that. Sure looks like it. Tony D is saying buy that dip on SMR. Look, I mean, so all jokes aside, I mean, this stock's halted. Let me just make sure that it was an SMR trade halt. Reason not available.
No, they are actually using SMR, like the SMR company, in this memorandum of understanding.
So the thought here, Daddy Backstrap articulating it here, SMR is completely frozen. I would like to buy shares here. I'm wondering if that's what some of you folks are wondering. Should we buy this here? I'm not gonna look. I don't know what's going on. There's no way I can say that this is a good idea. Trade this at your own risk. But I mean, down 98%, if this bounces at all, you're going to be in good shape. We'll see what happens when this opens up here. I don't have any other information via the Twitter streets yet.
Yeah, I mean, this news seems like it's good news for the company, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here.
GME is trying to bounce here, by the way, folks.
All right.
And actually, how many points of bounce do we have in there? 30.85 to right here, 32. So we got 2 points of bounce right there.
Yeah, you know what?
Coin says my order's in for 15 cents. It'll never fill. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna take a stab at that too. Okay. I think I'll risk a little bit just to give it a shot. I don't think it's worth.
I mean, we're talking about a 13-cent stock here. I feel like I can get a couple hundred shares.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of risk there.
I'll try it. We'll try it here. Let's see. With this,
this is speculative, folks. This is not advice or anything. This is just something that we're trying here because we don't see the reasoning for this stock price to be down here so fast on so little volume. So we're looking at this as a possible opportunity. And let's say if you're risking 100 shares, then you're risking $15. So that's really the only reason why we're even talking about this.
Yeah,
the risk is so low to even just try it that if it doesn't work out, we can. The most we're risking is $15.
Yeah, and I'm not going to actually be able to get this. I'm actually not going to be able to get this filled here until it opens. We'll see what happens. It's trying to put these orders out here, but they're not actually filling because the stock is still halted. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Christoph, I'll raise you 1 cent. Well, here we go. By the way, GME, that continuing here.
Yeah, and GPS also into the 30. Well, got into the 30 handle. It's trying to hang in there right now. Sorry.
El Turu. What stock is that? Ticker SMR. Sorry, I'm probably saying it too fast. That is going to be Sierra Mike Romeo, SMR.
And bot finally broke through that wall. Yeah, and it got to $2. Well, there you go. So that happened. So what's the next trade here? For me, if I was trading this, I would be looking at VWAP for support. That currently I have it currently at 169. So if we do get down there, I'd want to see like maybe about 10-15 minutes of price consolidation or support from the VWAP before I decide I'm going to go long for it to get back over 2. But might not get that opportunity. It's looking pretty good right here. Costco finally rolling over. Sorry.
No, all good. All good here. I'm just was going to go through the chat here.
Yeah, not King Charles. GME and Coin, they're
how is Coin doing today?
Yeah, so in Bitcoin.
In Bitcoin, that was the other thing I wanted to check.
Coin, really trades very well with Bitcoin. Or what's happened with Bitcoin?
Bitcoin tried to take out 71K. I hadn't even realized.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't checked this since this morning. It's above 70K. Actually, just made a decent. This is the futures chart that I'm looking at, by the way, real quick. This made a push up to 71,000. Stopped just shy of it, 25 points shy of it. Came back in a little bit here. Volume looking good. Bitcoin, the intraday 5-minute chart here actually, or excuse me, intraday 1-minute chart looks pretty bullish here on Bitcoin.
I'm looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, and this is, this looks like we're going to end up going higher. The level to break is going to be 72,000. So if we can get over. Right now, I have it at just under 70. So one level that I have here from previous price action is
wait. You guys are talking about Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares. Look at this. So this has to be a glitch, right? What the WTF? Berk A has to be a glitch. But this is the same thing we're seeing on GME, or excuse me, not GME, SMR, isn't it? This is the same thing. Like, this is Berkshire Hathaway. This is not some like fly by night pump job. This is a legitimate thing. Like, this is definitely strange.
Ooh, this could be bad for the market if this is how things are working out right now.
So
what is this? Wait, hold on a second.
I don't know. You guys were trying to figure this out together. Does anyone have any exchange problem? Gizmo, I think you that's got to be it, right? It's got to be. Fairchild says it's solar flares. This is a bug. Roland or Zoltan, excuse me.
I'm just wondering if this is going to scare people out of the market. You
know what? Daddy Backstrap, I bet that's why Bitcoin is rising right now. You might be onto something.
It's a good correlation.
You might be onto something. What happened with SMR?
Well, let's see here.
No, it's still halted down here.
Let's see here. Because I would look and see, try to line up when we started seeing these problems versus when we started seeing Bitcoin rise. And if they're about the same time, I'd say you're 100% correct. But it looks like Bitcoin may have started rising before these problems came out. It looks like we had a breakout into the close to the 70,000 handle at about 8:45 this morning. So just after the market opened.
Yeah, seeing some reports here now. Multiple New York Stock Exchange stocks showing volatility trading halts right now. The Benzinga Pro scanner showing that as well. Lots of halts out here. I'm seeing Nathan Michaud tweeting every Monday should be like this. He is wrong even a little bit. Like that would make for some excitement here. That's a quality tweet. By the way, real quickly here, just from something that's not like a halted mess, frankly. POW here. We talked about this as a potential 2024 play. I started adding this in 2023. It traded around a core position a little bit, just trying to book some gains on this name. Really good move here today. Not surprised to see this. I like Pow higher here. Still in my core. I'm not looking to sell it yet. I'd like this above 5 when I'm talking about maybe closing this swing out. Pow here, ticker POWW. This is ammo.com. They also have a relationship to Gunbroker. I believe they own it or something of that nature. I don't want to misspeak. Okay, they do own it. Pow going higher here. This actually looking pretty good. That swing working out.
Kingdom Lamb, I have an order out to see if it fills. It's, like we were saying earlier, it's just a gamble to see if we get it. One thing about POW is that the even numbers, the dollar handles, they're very, very big resistance and support levels. You can draw lines at every single one of them and see how, as soon as we broke down one of them, you just kind of consolidate for a bit before it makes the next move, either down to the next handle or up to the previous handle. So just kind of put out, one at $3, $4, and $5, and you can see just the price action we've been getting. $3 is going to probably end up causing a bit of a rally, probably into 350 if we get over that. Could go higher.
Hector's saying, why did gold go to 25 cents? Are you talking what did that? What ticker? It seems to me like we're having ticker troubles. So unless you actually meant ticker gold, which might be. Yeah, here. Excuse me, you did tell me. I just got to read. So I think this is going to be one of those things, right? This is Barrick Gold is not actually at 25 cents. This seems to be an exchange problem. I don't know if it's solar flares or a hack from China, but whatever it is, wild stuff. Here's the thing. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say it's absolutely hilarious that this is happening on the same day that we have the meme stock rally going on. I'm kind of speculating that there's some kind of connection.
So here's my question, and again, I'm just spitballing here. I have no information. What if you had stops? Like, what if you're a Barrett, holder, and you're in for a swing, and you're like, okay, stock's what, $16, and I got my stop at $12.
Oh, there might have been some people killed. Oh my God! Now that I think about that.
Or what if you have your stop at $7, and this thing I don't know what happened. Like, the volume has me believe that we didn't stop out everybody beneath this in 225 shares of volume. This to me looks like a pricing mistake. But I'm just wondering. I can't help but wonder.
If that triggers orders, that could be a big problem.
Purgatory Park saying, Ryan, there were some exchange quote issues last week also. Looks like maybe those have kind of joined in here again. We'll see. We will try and figure this out. I'm not sure what's going on here. It is Monday though, and it is Monday at 10 o'clock. So you know what that means. It is time for the one and only Matt Malley. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on here. Matt, how you doing today? You picked a good day to join us. I got to be honest. Your timing's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. It's more stuff going on at GameStop, huh? It's an incredible day, but we'll see how long this lasts, but lots of other things going on in the market as well. So it's really, we're not going to get, the odds that we're going to get the typical summer doldrums this year are very, very low.
It sure seems like that, Matt. Between the meme stocks, between this an election coming up here, sell in May and go away. Looks like it just took a vacation this year. Right? I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Your point is well made here on GameStop. We've done nothing but really kind of come in. One of the things that I was saying at the opening of this show is that I don't think I'm smart enough to figure out what it means when Roaring Kitty posts a picture of an Uno card and how this actually affects funds and people. I can't figure all that out. I'll watch it. I'll try to make sense of it. But your guess is as good as mine. I'm looking at the price action here. I see a really weak stock from the open.
Yeah. It was up. At one point it was up 80% or something in the pre-market trading.
Yeah. Almost 100.
70%. Yeah. And now just looking over at the screen here, it's up 30%. I guess up 30%, you think that's great, but it's just falling like a stone again. And it just seems to me that they're playing on he is playing on the greater fool theory, because there's absolutely nothing new that is bullish on the stock. Number one, and number two, this is not a business that is getting better.
Yeah,
if anything, is getting considerably worse than it has been for a while.
Yeah, no. All right. Real good stuff there. Appreciate you covering that. Look, the other question that we had here, this actually just materialized in the last 5 minutes. So I apologize if you don't know the answer to this. We're trying to figure it out. It looks like a number of New York Stock Exchange stocks have some type of halt or quote issue. I'm looking at Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares down to $185 from over $500,000. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Is this anything to worry about or anything like that?
No, it does seem to be technical in nature. Literally, just before I came on, I saw a headline go across, and it was in bold letters that the New York Stock Exchange is looking into some problems with some of the quotes. So it does seem to be a technical issue rather than the stocks really having moved in those kind of in those kind of ways. So in other words, they're bad quotes and they're bad ticks.
Right.
And so once they get that straightened out, hopefully we'll have a better feel for what's really going on. And the one thing that concerns me is that we had the same, we had the same thing last week. I mean, you saw with the CME,
Yep.
The S&P was frozen up 25 points for an hour or more. So I mean, if you can't see what's really going on in the stock market, that can it just doesn't create the kind of confidence. It's not a healthy market. I mean, the same thing with what's going on in GME. That's just not what you see in a healthy market. There's a lot of froth, and then that takes away some of the confidence. And then when you can't get a price quote, what kind of what does that do to the confidence? I don't want to overstate it. If there's only technical in nature, but you don't want them having too often.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So
Matt, what do you think that this is going to do for sentiment? Do you think that there's going to be some positions being closed, people kind of getting out of the market because this kind of spooks them out, or how crazy of a situation do you think this is going to end up being for us?
Well, I think the institutional players they'll may step back a little bit, but that's not going to have them make any important moves unless this, of course, becomes something that becomes moves on a regular basis. The individual investor, which of course is a much bigger part of the market the last few years, again, it goes to a certain amount of losing of confidence. And if you don't know what's going on with your trades, and if you get stopped out on your orders, a lot of people use stop limits on a buy order or sell order, and artificially, then they go back to their broker and say, "Hey, you owe me money," and the broker says, "No, we don't." And the whole thing, just like you said, it kind of feeds on itself and pulls people. It causes people to pulling their horns a little bit, at least on a short-term basis.
Okay. Thanks for that. And okay, so let's talk about the broader market here, Matt. We look to be a little bit strong. We were strong on Friday afternoon right into the close. We look to maintain that strength through the after-hour session. We were pretty strong here in the pre-market. I saw you absolutely destroying the SQQQ last week. All right, so shout out to you trading those calls. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where you think the market's going from here?
Well, I was worried. We bought the SQQQ calls, and of course, the SQQQ is the inverse leveraged ETF on the QQQ. So I was looking for, even though I was buying calls, it was an inverse ETF. So I was looking for the QQQ to go down, and I just didn't like the action, what was going on in a lot of these big names, more away from NVIDIA than the others. But we've seen Microsoft roll over in a meaningful way. We've seen Google roll over in a meaningful. Again, these are not huge moves, but they're starting to curl over, and it seems to be running out of gas a little bit. However, it was funny because we went in, we bought these calls, on the SQQQ, and they rallied. I mean, they rallied as much as 500%. So we sold some up 150%, some up 200, etc. We scaled out of them, and I think the overall gain was over 300%. So it worked out really well. But I did know that being the last day of the month, we got out of those things by midday. We sold a bunch in the morning and the rest of them by midday, for the simple reason I know that sometimes you get that month-end stuff that pushes the market artificially higher. Mm-hmm. And when you get that month-end window dressing, if it's going higher, then of course you get positive gamma works into the thing, and it can snowball on itself. And that's exactly what happened on Friday. And that's why I'm a little bit worried. I'm just seeing the market up, it's up fine, but it was really an artificial move on Friday. And once we kind of get past the momentum we're seeing from GME, we do have some positive news out of NVIDIA with some new chips. But I just see some of these big cap tech names starting to lose some of their momentum. So I'm a little bit more worried than I have been in a little while about the near-term outlook for the market. Because if the tech stocks roll over, forget about this rotation stuff. They're too highly weighted in the both the S&P and the NASDAQ. Once those big cap index start falling, assuming they do, if they do, people aren't going to rotate into other groups. They're going to rotate into cash because that still pays them 5%.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's actually a discussion that we had a number of times last week on our happy hour program in the afternoon. A number of people just kind of waiting in cash, waiting for that to get deployed. I agree with you. I think they would probably rotate more into cash here. You know, you had mentioned NVIDIA and AMD there. They both talked about new chips here. Interestingly enough, NVIDIA has already given back all of its gains from that news print this morning. We actually went green to red here on AMD. I think I said NVIDIA there. I apologize.
But yeah, and NVIDIA had lost some too. I haven't seen it lately. It went all the way back down to where it opened, which was still up. But yeah, this is, again, you question, one of the issues you just have to worry about is like, great, they're coming up with these new chips, but we do know that, well, suddenly how good are AMD's chips? If they are good, is that produce some competition? I mean, the big thing, I mean, they had some people on last week who I really respect in the news. I'm sorry, in the financial news area, just talking about, you know, you got NVIDIA with, 75% of market share, huge margins. You don't think that other companies are going to come in and like, whether it be AMD or even Intel, they're going to push hard to pick up on those unbelievable margins? I mean, the point is that at some point, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, at some point, they are going to get real competition. And even though NVIDIA is going to keep this, I think, market share for another quarter or two, or maybe even longer. You know, we're looking outward. Looking forward, which we have to in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. They can't keep this up forever, and so we just have to be careful about making the assumptions that a lot of the way the stocks are being priced today.
Okay, and of course, one of the other things that's going on that's affecting a lot of these tech stock here is the Computex conference in Taiwan. That's where some of this news came out of. Are you expecting anything else out of that, or is that kind of factoring into how you're trading any of these tech names?
Well, I think that we're getting, again, these stocks are, NVIDIA is not particularly expensive, but it's still having certain assumptions about the longer term that make it tough. Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, definitely an expensive stock. A lot of these names, and Microsoft, even though it's come down a little bit, an expensive name on a historical basis. I mean, everybody's kind of saying AI, don't worry, this is going to change everything. Well, I've heard that so many times in my 40 years in the business, how it's, these valuations are going to change, these new innovations. Electricity didn't change the way the market was valued 100 years ago. I don't think AI is going to change it either. And as it becomes more, I guess my point is, you asked about this conference. We're risking a sell the news reaction to this stuff. And like you said, we're already seeing that in AMD. Initially, it moved up, but these stocks are expensive. How much more good news can we get? And I worry that these stocks are already starting to pull back last week. If we see any downside follow through this week, it's going to raise some cautionary flags on the market.
Okay. Real good stuff, Matt. You got anything else that you're watching here that we didn't talk about, or anything that you like that you want to mention to the group?
Yeah, well, just one thing here. Keep an eye on the biotech industry, the IBB biotech ETF. The 140 level is something it has bumped up against 4 or 5 different times in the last 2 years. And it bumped up against it last week, pulled back a little bit. If it can finally break above that, we could also say it's that line, that the resistance level is also the top line of a ascending triangle pattern. But either way, it's a level that it's pumped up against many times. If it can finally break above it, it's going to surprise a lot of people and run in a big way. We're still, I don't want to get too ahead of it because it's an election year, and I just worry that Biden or Trump could start talking about pharmaceutical prices and try to beat down the group a little bit. But if we break above 140, this is a group that could really run and really surprise people. So I'm not turning bullish yet, but it's one I'm watching very closely over the next, the coming days and weeks in case we do get that breakout. Okay.
Real good stuff here. 13. You got anything else here for Matt before we let him go for the rest of the week?
No, I was just kind of curious about how the market's going to take this these weird and unusual halts. But no, he answered my question. I hope he has a wonderful rest of the week, man.
Yeah, hopefully confidence can hold up, but that is a concern.
No question. Matt, again, thank you so much for your time and your insight. We really appreciate that here. Went ahead and posted a link there for one of our webinars where we talk about Matt's different services. So if you want to check him out, head on over to benzinga.com/research. Matt, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch up with you next week. All right.
You too, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
No problem. Take care, Matt. Really, really good stuff there. We really appreciate insights like that. And look, as far as like the whole technical glitch here, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you see stocks do this, when you see stuff like this, I did this. All right, so it's easy for me to talk about it in real time. But when you see this stuff happening, it's extremely concerning. It looks like this is just a technical glitch. Hopefully everything's resolved here. I don't think any of those trades were filled. I was trying to do it here on mine, and my order wasn't getting filled. So hopefully everything's okay. We'll see though. What took place? What is still moving there? I'm seeing a number of people. A number of people mentioning pizza. Not easy to say there, despite pizza being delicious here. Ticker PZZA. This is Papa John's International. Looks like a fair 2-point move here right off that 46 level.
Plenty of people purveying pizza on Pro.
Oh, see, now you're just trying to rope me into an absolute disaster where I have no chance.
The Voodoo support I have at I'm looking at 527 as a support level. We were getting it in the after hours on Friday. It was a resistance level on Wednesday, and now we're looking at as support. So 527. That's going to be what I've got. Resistance at 530. Also, there was something else that I had here. MBOT. MBOT looks like it's trying to push higher, but the wicks that it's putting out in the top don't look great. So it's going to need to push, beyond this 217 level soon, or I think we're coming back in.
Okay, and MBOT so far here holding this $2 level. We'll see if it can actually push higher here. Let's check in on GME. Looks like GME is trying to rebound and bounce off of 30. Is my read correct on that one?
Hey, I thought what Matt was saying about IBB was interesting. I took a look at the chart. If you want to, because this might be the breakout level he's talking about, if you draw a trend line from the two top points back in July of 2015 and October of 2017, just draw a trend line straight through those levels all the way down to where we're at now. We're about $40 or $50 away from breaking that trend line. Can
you repeat those levels again for me? For the trend line, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm on a weekly chart, and I'm looking at the high in July of 2015 and the high in October of 2017. There you go.
The high of July in 2015.
Those two peaks
right here. And
right there.
And this is what you're doing.
And that's the breakout. That's the trend line to break. So I think when we get close to there, you have an imminent breakout. So this is the trend line to watch, I think.
Okay, there you go. I love those longer term trend lines. We'll see if and when we actually get back up there and test it here. Yeah, you could see that is coming through here on the daily chart as well. Okay, really good stuff there. Let's go ahead and move back to the trade the pool brokerage. Let's see what is moving on here. What's going on? GME looks like this is kind of coming up off the bottom. We'll see if GME actually gives us a setup. I'm curious to know how you folks are trading this here. I have not seen a decent new trade set up yet. Obviously, depending on what positions you carried into today, it could be totally different. But I haven't seen a new trade set up here. MBOT seems to be the big one for today. How's BPTH doing? That was another one. This actually holding beneath its VWAP. Would really like to see this get back above its VWAP on some volume.
Costco got support from the pre-market high, and it has reversed, and it looks like it might end up going higher.
Costco actually took its VWAP out here. I did, part of me is wondering if this is because I had an extravagant purchase at Costco this weekend. It was not expensive, but it was basically some laser etched Bears whiskey glasses and whiskey stones. So maybe that's why Costco's trading up here today. I kid, of course. Ron asking a question here. Ryan, if someone bought an option on I think you mean CRM, not CMR, or maybe you meant SMR. Well, I'm not sure yet what you mean here, and it has not yet filled. Would it be your recommendation to cancel or buy? I cannot make a recommendation either way. What I would say here is the way I would answer this from an individual is, has the risk profile of that trade changed? If it hasn't, then I see no reason to cancel it. If it has, then I would reassess there. Let me know which ticker you meant there. CMR. I don't think that's what you meant. SMR. So here, okay. So let's now that you've given us that, let's go ahead and take a look at this. SMR, I just don't think that's going to get filled, right? If you put in what, let's call it a stink bid, right? One of those lower bids, hoping that you get filled if the stock moves off. This is clearly a technical glitch. We've confirmed that with pretty much anyone that we can at the moment. Those orders are likely not going to get filled. I mean, if you're able to get one of those calls filled and then immediately the price jumps up, you're going to be in profit there. So there you go. I hope that's helpful for you, Ron. I struggle to think that that's going to get filled. Just a technical glitch. GME continuing its push up off the bottom, by the way. Let me take a look here and see what else might be going on the Twitter streets. A lot of talk about the market error today, more so than anything else.
Okay.
GameStop has broken the market. No, it's all good. I think we're all just trying to make sense of some stuff here.
Did you get Lucas's question? He's asking us how this technical glitch can affect market ETFs and algorithmic tradings.
I didn't get that.
That's kind of a big question mark for us. We aren't too sure, but I think my personal opinion is that I don't think it's great. I think it's going to kind of mess a couple things up. But it'll fix itself once we get trading back underway. But right now, I don't think this is going to really positively impact those ETFs.
Yeah, and the one big worry that I had here, Lucas, was just something we kind of already touched on here. You had mentioned algorithmic trading. The big worry for me was, do these prints or does this price action on some of these halted stocks trigger stops? And it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like this is just kind of a quote issue. So I'm not sure that those actual orders would have been affected. Thus, I don't think this is really going to have an effect. As far as the market ETFs, I think that this is just a correction that they're going to make, and that really won't have anything outstanding either. Good question, though.
Yeah, CRM looks like it's trying to break above VWAP. Just keep an eye on that one, or if you want to trade it. But this one's starting to get a little bit of volume expansion, trying to push over the VWAP. So there might be something here.
Crow. Okay. So sorry. I read something else that was timely right when you were delivering a timely setup here. You're absolutely right. By the way, if CRM can move through the VWAP here, you actually might have something. Even on a short-term trade, if we trade up to 240 there, you have several points of movement. Crow, though, giving us some boots on the ground due diligence about what's going on right here. DXYZ also halted down. So let me pull that up here. I know we can do that one. This is the exact same thing as what we're seeing in some of these other names. Also halted down, and my stop is not filled. So that answers my question, Crow. You had a stop floating out there before this happened. The price has now moved below your stop considerably, but you still have all of your shares. That tells me that one of the things that they're trying to do before they release these, if you will, is make sure that none of those stop orders are triggered. I think they're on top of this. I tend to believe that this isn't going to be a big issue. I appreciate you sharing that with us, though. The Mexican peso falling apart. Didn't they just elect somebody down there?
Yeah.
So I don't follow this at all. I have no insight on this, and at the risk of saying something that's incorrect or political, I don't have an opinion on it. What's going on down there?
They elected, well, I guess the big headline, because apparently it needs to be, is that this is their first woman president and their first Jewish president. So that's, those are the big headlines that were coming across my newsfeed. This is, I think
that's causing the peso to sell off.
What it is I think it's because this is a president who is going to basically follow in the footsteps of her predecessor.
Okay, so it's basically a continuation of a regime that they already had in there. It seems like that,
and I think that's what could be causing it to go down. Okay,
well, I don't have any insight on that particular trade. I guess we'll monitor that and see what happens in there. Okay.
I guess it just kind of upended those hoping for change, and apparently not going to get it because it's going to be
okay.
That's the thought anyway. I just know that they were talking about how this is her. The last president was a mentor, to not be able to use a better word. So I think the thought here is that there's not going to be, much in the way of change, just kind of business as usual.
Chewy here doing all right. This pulled back off its impulse move, has recaptured its VWAP. This intraday chart still looks pretty good. This just seems like trading action here. AFMD, what is going on with this one, folks? Affirmed NV. Let me see if there's any news on this. AFMD. I think, did any of you guys call this when it first started moving up and I just missed it? Maybe because we were talking about other stuff. That could have happened. Let's see here. AFMD, affirmed NV. This is big volume, nice expanding volume in here. Sunday in 17 patients, chemotherapy. So 3 or 4
rating, $10 price target.
Yeah, that's a Wainwright price target there. They did have some
news on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, they did have some news on Sunday regarding some of their patients who failed chemotherapy. 3 out of 4 responses were ongoing for more than 7 months. Progression-free survival was 5.9 months. I think that's good. Here's the data that came out. Looks like that data came out on Saturday. Here's the actual PR itself. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at here in terms of news here, courtesy of Benzinga Pro. And I apologize, trying to go over medical stuff in real time. Always difficult. 15.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think we probably need to ask someone that's more of an expert on this what it actually means. But what we can assume, or what we can infer from what we're seeing right here, market obviously likes this. Volume is really telling the story here for me. It continues to trade up here. Price is just simply following along with that.
Yeah, the Crow and Voodoo both saying, exactly what I've been reading with the news on the New Mexico president.
Okay. And I think one of the big, so Voodoo hitting it here, I think one of the big concerns here is that the cartel still controls flow. Okay. So that's what's going on. That's what I think. Okay. Well, we got to the bottom of it. Look how we did that with our community here. I came in like a child, completely with no context. What is the line from Lebowski where he goes off on that? Anyway,
you're like a child wandering into a theater wanting to know what's going on.
Thank you. With no idea. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The Big Lebowski, an absolute classic. Love that you're able to quote that one here.
You're entering a world of pain, Donnie.
Donnie.
CRM actually pushed above
so
the VWAP. Coming back in a little bit though, but we got a little bit of movement from CRM.
Real quick here, Jay mentioning that the IWM rolled over here. So IWM still kind of in this range here today. No bueno. Actually went green to red on that IWM move. This actually hunting for lower. We'll see if it ends up doing that. IWM. I'm actually going to go back to trade the pool here. Let's take a look at CRM that you just mentioned. I got to type the ticker in right in order to do that.
So on IWM, because whenever that gets brought up, I like to look at it because I have a whole bunch of drawings on there. We're actually finding support at the moment from the 2023 high, which is 205.49. So that's a support level to watch for. We go beneath that, we could end up down at the 50-day SMA. What else we got going on here? It looks like just a whole bunch of stuff is starting to roll over.
BPTH is still holding out beneath its VWAP here. This is really not giving us any strength other than those pre-market pushes. So unfortunately, nothing really going on here.
It might be a mover later on today. If it can continue to get support above 315, it might be able to turn around and do a run for the VWAP. We've seen that happen quite frequently with these ones that pop out of the gate and then just sell off for the morning. They end up turning around sometimes and get back up to VWAP. So that would be the trade for me in BPTH.
Real good there. Let's see if AFMD is no chill yet. No chill yet, AFMD. We'll see where this stops. This actually, after this initial impulse move here, this might actually set up for a new trade. We'll see if that happens or when that happens here. By the way, looking at my relative volume scanner, seeing a lot of penny stocks that look like they're coming up off the bottom. Not trades for me, but maybe telling us something. I don't know.
Kingdom Lamb. I traded this too because it was wild. I forgot about this. Yeah, BNAI I think I was even down, like I talked down on this one because I was like, oh, it's an acquisition company. Maybe it goes to 10, blah, 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 this and that. It had a huge run on Friday after we got off live training.
Yep.
But I didn't stay stubborn about it. I was like, well, this is an opportunity. Let's trade it. So we did.
3 and
fun.
change to 8 on that BNAI move here. Today, though, really nothing to speak of. Volume totally muted. This thing is actually lower than the close. So this moved lower and then moved lower more here today. BNAI. GME, by the way, GME getting that bounce. This is one of the things that I do like. We talked a lot about the stock, and I know everyone seems to have their opinion on whether it's good or bad or whatever. The one thing I really like about GME is it always seems like there's something going on here. And I mean, even on a day like today, we've got all the stuff going on. The stock immediately sells out of the open. Now we're getting a multiple point bounce off the bottom here. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing went back to the VWAP, recaptured it. If volume comes in later because we get another draw 4 card tweet from Roaring Twitty. Who knows? Who knows what could happen here? This thing just totally at the whim of whatever's going to get posted here. But you know what? That makes for some excitement. Even if you don't trade this, take a look and see what type of technical levels get obeyed by the movement of this stock.
Yes, channel owner. We're looking at this as a glitch because some of the other stocks are doing this as well, and we're not exactly sure what the problem is, but it seems like the exchange are having a problem with some of the quotes.
Yeah, and try and hold the all caps to just tickers. It makes it a lot easier on us. I understand there's a lot going on here today, but try and keep the caps for tickers.
I think with GME, if we do for today, I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, but I think today, if you're going to trade this, I think the trade would be from right where it is to VWAP. I think it's going to, like you said, get it back up to VWAP, but I don't know how high it's going to go after that. It seems to me like it's got some exponential moving averages above VWAP that are probably going to end up pushing it back down. So to be safe, I think a safe trade would be, a break on the 200 EMA to VWAP on a 5-minute chart. That would be the trade I'd be looking at.
Kudos to you for making some sense of it. That's what I have to say about it. MBOT here, MBOT coming back into its VWAP. Let's see if it holds this. We lost 2 already. If it holds this VWAP here, I've got that at 184, by the way. If we hold this VWAP here, we get any type of buying. I think 2 not out of the question. Then, of course, above that, we've got the high print there, high print of the day there, 218. Is that 218 or 216? 218. So let's see. The one thing I'll say here is that you can clearly see as soon as the stock started to roll over in its price, look what happened to the volume. It continues to compress and is now all turned to selling volume. So if this story down here doesn't change, I think it's unreasonable to think that the story up here is going to change and move higher. So definitely watch those volumes there on MBOT. We are at VWAP, so if you're going to take a stab here, this might be one of the first places to do that at.
I don't like the way the MACD is looking in this one.
Either.
So it might, I think it could go lower unless you start getting a volume expansion here to push it back up so the MACD doesn't cross to the downside.
PGen spiking here on volume on PGen. That's Papa Golf Echo November. If anyone's having trouble with the tickers here this morning.
And MBOT's starting to get some expansion. That's crazy. We're just talking about this is the area right here. It would have to start picking up. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to go, the trade's going to go bearish. But if we can push back up and get over 2, which I think might be a bit of a tall order, it's just going to try to push higher back up into the 210s.
Got some news here courtesy on PGen here real quick. I know this is a little bit after that initial move here. We do have a rumor here courtesy Benzinga Pro. Watching Precigen, shares spiking higher as traders circulate analyst comments suggesting, quote, RRP data looks great, 52% CR, and differentiated from INO 3107. We think PRGN 2012 looks approvable. So it looks like we're getting rumor here about one of this company's potential drugs getting approved here. Stock is clearly spiking off this news. I don't know if there's more to go here. Looks like we're pulling back to the VWAP, but that's what's going on here in PGen.
Looks like MBOT might end up doing its thing. It's got to push through the 210s and then then we could end up getting new intraday highs. Looking okay, looking pretty good. Just got to get that volume to continue to expand.
So PGen, interesting here. GME, by the way, not done yet. GME looks like it's trying to trade up here. This 1 minute, I've got a 3-minute chart here, but I also have GME on a 1 minute chart right above here. This formation actually looks like this is going to try and go higher here. Let's see if it does that. 3150, I think, going to be one of your spots to move through if we can do it. There's 3150 on GME. Let's see if we go higher here. By the way, VWAP 3414 here on Trade the Pool. So we definitely have multiple points here. If this can really get the juice, even a close to VWAP might be a decent potential trade here on GME. Aura asking me, Ryan, are you still in MBOT? MBOT was not viable for me. We talked about this being, oh my God, look at this. We talked about this being a potential. Look at this.
This is what I was just talking about. We were just talking about how it looked like it could happen, and it's happening. I took a quick scalp in this. Just as soon as it started moving off VWAP, I was like, let's try it.
Let's go. That move right off that VWAP. We talked about it before it happened, or Alpha. God, I'm not trying to mispronounce your name. I'm just struggling today.
The concern we had was that the MACD looked like this was going to, make the stock go lower, like we were going to get that crossing. And we said that if we got the volume expansion right here, it could change that. And that's exactly what happened. Look at the volume candle. We just completely expanded. We pushed into new intraday highs. We prevented the MACD from crossing. So that was the move right there. I don't know what it's gonna do next, because it still could roll back over. It's not, we're not getting like super insane breakout volume. We're just getting some that help push up to new highs.
I think just based on this trading action and what we're talking about here, this is actually a decent place to scale. We heard Matt Malley about scaling out of his positions and how successful that multiple 100% trade went. MBOT here, this is definitely a first area to scale here.
Yeah, I think that if you're taking profit taking right here, I think you're doing pretty good.
GME, interestingly enough, GME is really trying at this 3150 area. It took it. They actually have some size bidding beneath it. We'll see if this goes higher here on GME. I think if this starts to push away here, you might have something on a move back towards that VWAP at 3410 now. So let's just call it $34.
Wisdom, you got it, man. Have a good one, okay? And hopefully gold gets unhalted and doesn't screw things up.
Yeah, you'll be all right. It's a technical glitch. They'll get it fixed. Zoltan, by the way, I know if you're still out there, appreciate you looking into that and confirming it with me. I know that you had messaged me about that. Said it here. We were busy. GME now totally rejected at that 3150. Man, oh man, it looked like that was trying to go, and then nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
MBOT just took out 230 where there was a pretty good size wall. This thing is making some pretty good moves.
What did we say about the volume, 13?
I think this is. I don't know what's going to happen with this one, but if you're continuing to scale out of this, I think you're doing just fine.
Someone that's really like good with AI should take Puff Daddy's "All About the Benjamin" song and change it to "It's All About the Volume" and change all of the lyrics to like stock related lyrics. That would be something else. I don't think I'm good enough to do that, but that would be something else because it is all about the volume. Great job on the chat here. Going to give you cash register rings, folks. MBOT absolutely booking gains here. Jane out, MBOT. Nice trade there. Robert, MBOT surge. Hopefully you're lightning into that. Diddy's radioactive right now. Fair enough. I was just talking about the song, not about the person, but you're absolutely right about that.
Big bearishness at 230 in MBOT. That's a much larger, wow, it just got cut 2/3 down.
You know, STFU was asking if a knife is possible on this. Yes, possible. Knives are always possible. This one here, we could easily knife even back to the VWAP, maybe even beneath.
Like I said, I think that if you were selling into this strength, you're doing just fine. Jane, she's out. I know she did great. I think that was the way to trade this one. If it goes higher, hey, it goes higher. I mean, we some things you can't figure out where they're going to stop rising to. But 230, we get a break here. This thing could end up going to, well, let's just say 245, 250. but you're not
Becca's suggesting I ask Chat GPT to do it for me. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe that'll be a little nighttime activity here, Bex. That's not a bad idea.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, where these things go after the trade's over. You did what you meant to do in the trade, and I think that's the important takeaway.
IBB, remember Matt talked about the IBB here. This doing a really good job holding higher here. Let's take a look at some of these other names here. Here's PGen. This did bounce off of its VWAP. We read that newsprint to you earlier. Here's POW. We talked about this a little bit earlier as well. Got to type the right ticker in here. POW, a little bit of a fade back to the VWAP, but so far holding its gains like that. Best Buy, this had earnings recently. This continuing to be kind of a monster here. Best Buy slowing down a little bit. Let's take a look at the SPY here, as it looks like that might be moving a little bit lower here on the SPY. It's not breaking down beneath its VWAP. Let's see if it can reclaim that. NVIDIA here, this is not really doing anything. It's just kind of back and forth right around VWAP. Nothing going on with NVIDIA. Apple looks like it's given back a little bit of its recent push. We'll see what it does here at VWAP. A lot of this stuff really kind of slowing down. AMD kind of rough, this going lower. Remember, we mentioned new AI news here for AMD and NVIDIA. Let me see if I can get it for you. That coming out of Computex.
No, Fairchild, they just brought in, glitch.ai to clean it all up.
Glitch.ai. 13 sold that to them last week, so really good timing there. 13, I kid. AMD, by the way, unveils new Gen Zen 5 Ryzen processor to power advanced AI experiences, accelerates the pace of data center AI innovation and leadership with expanded AMD Instinct GPU roadmap. So again, all of this stuff coming out of Computex, that not helping AMD, NVIDIA maintaining higher here though.
I'm not sure AMD is going to be the winner with this AI chip war. I have some, I don't listen to me. I have reservations about that.
God, this is better than I thought. Purgatory Park saying I had ChatGPT do the lyrics. Y'all want to be traders, bull run slayers, volume movers, living the life of retail rallies and the losers. Oh my God. Okay. So first of all, just combination one up here for the entire group for suggesting this. This is just going to be a little kind of a pet project that we might do on the side here. That's good stuff, Purgatory Park. That is making my day.
Channel owner HKD, be very careful with that one. That is a China pumper stock that will trap people. Just be careful with that one. Let me see here. If you have a sec, I love my 20 EMA on the 1 minute time frame for GME. I'll take a look at that with that time frame. One thing that to point out before I do though, the SPY getting really close to that 527 level. I'm looking for that to provide support. If it doesn't, we could see a sizable knife through it. If it doesn't give us the support I'm looking for. All right, let me take a look at that while you do that.
Yep, real quickly here, while 13 is doing that, AMFD, this did come back into its VWAP. I know it broke it, but it reclaimed it in pretty short order. And the good news here, Jane, Jane had asked here, AFMD coming back. One of the things that I try to judge, in addition to just this price movement, is what is the volume doing? Now, I'm happy to see that the volume candles are technically higher, but this to me, we need this to continue here. Maybe if this consolidates, or I call this building above the VWAP, right? If it continues to trade a little bit above that VWAP and that volume then expands, the propensity of this stock breaking to the highs is even higher here. So I wouldn't take this one off yet, but I don't see a buy signal just quite yet here unless you're just trying for a bounce. SPY still holding in there. I tell you what, GME, it's not above that 3150, but it's holding in there, or trying to anyway.
Okay.
Looking around here at Twitter to see if I can figure out anything else.
So STFU, you're talking about the 20 EMA on 1 minute time frame for GME, and it looks like since it fell out of the gate this morning, it has not really touched it at all. Maybe I have the wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm using the right one. The 20 EMA on the 1 minute, and I haven't seen really any price action, with that moving average since we opened. Give me a little bit more information on what you're looking at here. I hope I have the right EMA.
MBOT here looking, we got some top wicks here, but so far it's doing a decent job holding here. It's not even out of the question that this could break higher here on MBOT. STFU saying yours looks way different.
Okay.
Jared saying nice looking W on the daily here in Apple. So here is going to be your daily chart here. To me, this daily sure looks like this is trying to grind higher here on Apple. If you want me to get a bigger daily chart here for Apple, let me go ahead and do that real fast. Plug this in here. Boom, boom, boom. So here is your Apple chart. Again, this type of break here, this moving higher here. I got the next resistance level 196. Let's call it just even for sake of ease, and then 200. So 196 and 200, your next upside resistance areas here on Apple from the daily. See what the longer time frame. Weekly looks like a triple top forming. Same with the monthly. I'd love to get through that though. That'd be bullish.
SMR is open, and I didn't get any fills.
Okay, so SMR back now. So our question has been answered. This was just a technical glitch. Rick, did you get your stink bid filled? Are you getting a new house? Did we end up doing that here? Look, I'm just repeating what he said earlier. He said he had a bid in there such that if that hit got filled, he'd be moving. So I hope, Rick, if you've got some new, if you've got a new pad here, I'd love to know. Oh, it didn't get filled. I had a housewarming gift planned and everything. Damn.
STFU, sometimes different brokers will, choose a different starting point from when they're going to, if it's like an intraday chart you're looking at, they'll, go off a different starting point. So it just might be this difference between brokers.
Now, here's the most annoying part of this whole thing. Now we need to correct this bar because the rest of the trading in this name is going to be absolutely affected by the size of this bar. I know how to do it in Thinkorswim. You literally just right click and I think say correct this bar. I guess I shouldn't say I know it unless I know it for sure. If you right click and then click correct this bar, you can do it in Thinkorswim. I'm not sure how to do it here and Trade the Pool, but keep that in mind too. If you're going to try and trade any of these names later, you might want to adjust your chart so you can actually make sense of the patterns forming. Crow also confirming Crow actually having a position here. DXYZ, you had an open position with a stop. It did not stop you out. Now that it's reopened, you still have your position and it went back to the same price. Just a glitch in the simulation, my man. Everything's good. Running toss with no issues. Okay. No way. Joe saying my SMR filled. No way. They might break that. We've talked about this before, right? We've talked about having trades broken. That to me, was it your paper trading account that got filled? There's no way. I didn't actually see prints down there either. See, if I scroll all the way back, all these prints are in the 9 handle.
Unless he's talking about 15 cents.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way. If it said that you had a position and you closed it, I wouldn't be shocked if that got broken tomorrow, honestly. All right, folks, 15 more minutes here. We're going to have Trader Bacon next. We're just going to send you over there. We still got 15 more minutes here. 13, you mind if I actually just step away for just 1 sec here? I'll be right back. That cool?
Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Fidencio or Fidencio. I'm sorry if I'm really mispronouncing your name. Check Mara. What do I think? So Mara and all these other Bitcoin stock names, they are going to move with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now is pulling back off of breaking over 70,000. So of course these Bitcoin names are going to pull back with it. It's really just going to depend upon how that trades. So I would just continue to watch Bitcoin. You get the moves there. You'll start to you'll see how just moments later or at the same time these stocks like Mara, Riot, CLSK, and MSTR, they're all going to end up moving alongside with it because of their numerous Bitcoin holdings. So just watch what that does, and you should be able to do well. MBOT wedging. Let's take a look at MBOT wedging. Where'd that go? Had it here just a second ago. Well, it looks like MBOT is not able to get much higher than that 235 that we were talking about not too long ago. It seems like it's trying to find support at 215. It's not getting it.
Wow. Sorry to interrupt here. Joe giving us more context there. It was Weeble. Ron saying your order just got filled. Where was your order
Whoa.
at? So it looks like some of these did happen. I didn't have any. Mine didn't.
Guess I should have not canceled mine then, because I canceled after we opened and I didn't fill. So I was like, okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, this dipped. I mean, I wonder where that happened here.
Thank you, SCFU. So we the SPY did get a bounce off of the
Kingdom.
It's right at 527 right now. So this is where it needs to bounce.
So that's the SPY. Kingdom Lamb said I sued Weeble, but then I used Weeble. For a second, I was like, boy, that happened fast.
I sued Weeble, didn't get filled.
Man, oh man.
So look at this. I said if we don't bounce at 527, we're going to get a knife down. Look at the SPY now.
Look at that.
We're going down.
There's your knife down.
Now let's see where we're going to find some support. I guess maybe 526, and then after that, I mean, you got a couple levels on the way down to the previous all-time high of 524.61, but for the time being, it looks like it's just going to go right to 526. I don't know where the support comes in, to be honest.
Justin reporting that his buys on SMR, Burke A, and Gold did not get filled. Love that. You really went you went after more than just one, trying to take advantage of that. Hey, look, I respect it. If I had other orders I was trying to place that got rejected, but they still say pending, I think those are probably done. Joe here saying, are they able to take my money away if I already sold for a gain though? So Joe, this has never happened to me. So I am going off of information that I have got from other traders, all of them way more advanced. 13, you were here. You were there for one of the discussions that we had on trades that are, quote, being broken. Now, I can't tell you what's going to happen with any certainty, but I have heard, again, from other traders before that when there is some type of glitch that traders end up making money off of, the trades, the term that it was described in is the trade is broken, as if it just didn't happen. So taking your money away, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd love to hear from you.
They probably wouldn't look at it as taking your money away.
Right.
They look at it as, oh, there was a problem and we're just trying to fix it.
Yep.
And usually that means it doesn't work out well for you.
Yeah.
So
Jay mentioning here IWM at the lows. Jay, good job keeping your eye on this one. This thing has been weak out of the gate. That's got to be no good for the Chewy position. Ooh, no. We're going to stay in this though. I actually just placed a Chewy order not long ago. We'll see.
AFMD might be getting going for its next leg up here if we can get a little bit more volume expansion. It's kind of got a pretty about maybe 5 to 10 cent spread right now, but the formation looks pretty good. Just need to get a little bit more increasing volume and we can break that 788 high.
Jane here. I've never traded Forex, so this is helpful too. I had a Forex trade once that the candle blew up and the broker did not honor my trade. Now, I will say Forex a little bit different in terms of its regulations and its execution than traditional brokers here, but nonetheless, that is the same or a very similar situation Jane's telling you about there. SPY does look scary, guys. I'm with you on that. Now, every time that we say, I'm trying to be careful here because every time that we say SPYs look scary, things are rolling over, this, that, the other thing, the dip buyers come in and make me look like a complete maroon, as the kids say. Here we go with the SPY kind of rolling over. Maybe we bounce at some point. We'll see.
Let's see here. If we're going to bounce, it looks like, I mean, the 20-day SMA is kind of in the way. So you have that right now at 525 and 16 cents. Not sure that we're going to see that today, but we could. It also seems like that's a pretty, just under 526 seems like a pretty good support level as well. Let me look and see what we got here. 525 and 37. That's the low from last Wednesday. That could end up being a spot as well. So look for those two levels there, the 20-day SMA and that low from Wednesday.
By the way, SPY was trying to bounce there, very quickly reversed. MBOT here looks like this is trying to bounce off this reversal here. I've got that at 203. MBOT up here. Candle volume, not great. Candle price action here looking pretty good for a potential bounce in MBOT. By the way, here in Chicago, the cicadas they're not like everywhere where they're covering everything, but even right now, what time is it? 10 o'clock in the morning. I hear what sounds like a siren way off in the distance. And what it is all of those cicadas singing in unison. It just sounds really kind of eerie and creepy. But that's the stage of the thing that we're at here. So you can still golf, so it's not bad. Annie, mine didn't get filled. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. SPY looks like it's still hunting for some lows here. I'm not sure this is done.
Daniel's got a good name for a roaring kitty. He calls them kitty tickles. That's pretty funny. I'm just reading his. Yeah.
I'll read it for him. Daniel, good morning. By the way, thanks for joining us. I got screwed out of about $1,800 a few weeks ago on my AMC puts after kitty tickles it up, and then they paused market trading. When they resumed, my puts were at 2. So you're bringing, first of all, a kitty tickles. That's, of course, that's a good name. The one thing I will say here is what Daniel is talking about here. Sometimes you'll hear 13 and I say, look, we don't need to play this. It's risky. We're not sure what's going to happen. It's subject to all of this back and forth. Well, Daniel is giving you an example of exactly what we're talking about here. Daniel, you had no, how could you have known? You're trying to play a regression off the pop, right? And then he tweets something or he mentions something and something goes crazy. There's just no way you can factor this into a trade plan. It just is what it is. This is some of the risk that you accept by trading these names. This can be one of the reasons why you stay away from it, not because you think it's going to go into the ground or whatever. S&P futures continuing to sell off here, by the way. SPY at lows.
Yeah,
Jay Rice here. See, Jay, I love this. Sorry for interrupting you, 13. I'm gonna get you in here in a sec. Jay, I love this because sometimes I'm doing a lot of my prep work for the day when pre-market prep is going on, and I miss a lot of these Dennis calls. Now, I will say Dennis had his Oilers jersey on today, and that thing was fresh, looked awesome. Go Oilers! But I appreciate you mentioned some of these calls here. Dennis is about as good as it gets. Dennis is one of the best traders that I personally know. I'm assuming he had kind of a fade call here in the pre-market. That's what we're getting across the board. Qs, Dow, SPY, IWM, as you were alluding to earlier, all of these things really kind of fading across the board here.
It looks like this issue is kind of spooking people out of the market.
So Matt kind of touched on that earlier, right? He said probably one of the biggest things here is what about the confidence? Well, the market is definitely selling off here. Here, let me bring up SPY real quick. IWM seems to have stabilized. SPY is hunting for a low as we speak, and so too are the Qs. Let's see. Yeah, so maybe the Qs found one here, but these looking for lower. Good. Real quickly here, I guess I can't believe this is the only mention of the day of this ticker. DJT here, relatively not volatile and neutral. Oh my, I'm going to pinch myself to make sure I'm awake here. The stock really didn't do much of anything here today. NVIDIA still hunting for some of those lows, by the way. SMCI, same deal. Sorry, 13, get in.
No, it's maybe for DJT, if you want to trade that one, I think the catalyst is going to come in the form of the appeal.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I think that might not see a whole lot of price action till then.
But that thing, make no mistake about it. That thing, no matter what happens, it's going to be headline driven going into the rest of this year here. By the way, Pfizer CEO currently on TV here. He's at that ASCO conference, which is here in Chicago. Sydney, I thought you were going to that. Are you to get some information on cattle or something like that? What ended up happening with that? with your trip to the ASCO conference. Would love to know. Pfizer here. This is strong here today, popping out of this flag here as there's some discussion here on a weight loss pill. Typesh saying nothing happened today? Question mark. I mean, stuff definitely happened. It's just stuff, let's put it that way. Stuff definitely happened here today. Not sure what you're referencing. Coal names doing well. That's something we haven't checked in a while. Jay,
STFU. It's a smart move. He said that he flattened all his positions as a result of this. The quotes being incorrect. He doesn't want to be part of another March 16th, 2020. I'll counter that by saying I would love to see another wealth creation event like that, but just not be on the wrong side of it. I did a whole lot of shopping in March and April that year, and it worked out really well. So I think when we get serious weakness like that, those are going to be buying opportunities for us. So absolutely good idea not to be part of the wrong side of that, but let's wait for and see if we can find a bottom here in the SPY, because we'll probably end up doing really well for ourselves if we can nail that.
No, I think you're right about that. Sydney couldn't get in. The registration had closed. Okay, well, that's a bummer. But NT, right? Nice try. Anyway, what do you think about the siren cicadas? I honestly don't mind it. The fact that they're not all over the place and disturbing golf, I don't mind it really at all. All right.
It's like white noise.
I mean, it kind of is. And oh God, let me tell you something. Jake Crandall, I'm in a name drop him. Jake Crandall here at work suggested a free white noise app for my phone. I am straight up addicted. Rain on Lake, baby. Rain on Lake every night. I'm out in less than 5 minutes. I'm just out. White noise, big shout out. Big shouts, as they say.
They should add a cicadas feature.
I don't know that I would choose that one. You know what, though? You know what I'll do for you, 13? I'll look and see if they have one, because they've got a cat purring. So I'll see if they've got cicadas.
Well, I mean, do they have any of those, those apps? Because I know they have those apps that provide the white noise sound, but do they have any where you can just kind of like add overlays of sound? So like what you just said, rain on the lake. Can you just do rain or lake? Have like water lapping up on the shoreline slightly. But
no.
Also, you can add like different ones. You can add thunder and now too with the rain.
So that's really cool. You're basically talking about layering different things on.
Yeah.
No, I basically just select them from a list, but that's not a bad idea either.
If nobody's done that yet, there's your app idea. I mean, you might get enough sold to where Apple and Google Play are like, hey, this guy's got a real product here. Just a thought. I mean, I haven't heard of anything doing that, but I think it'd be interesting if somebody came up with one where you could, a la carte your noises.
Well, that would be something else. Real quickly here, we're watching a lot of this stuff kind of roll over. White noise on the Calm app is fire. See, Calm. I haven't tried that one. I tried a different one. I'll see if I can get the name. I don't necessarily want to. Smoke Tuna, bonjour. Smoke Tuna, where on earth have you been? I saw you in pre-market prep earlier, and you're just now saying hi. What on earth?
Oh wow!
Have you been
is that really true? What John Doe's saying. If that's really true, then I'd expect there to be a little bit more.
I was going to say I haven't seen anything on that. I certainly don't want to jump to that conclusion. I see nothing about that. I would have definitely had that. I would have definitely had that here in the newsfeed. But it is 10 o'clock, folks, so we are done here for today. I'll tell you what, though, rather entertaining start to the week, wouldn't you say, 13? Yeah. I mean, this is like I'm gonna echo what Nathan Michaud, what Investors Live said this morning. Boy, I wish every Monday could be like this. That would be a lot of fun. 13, thanks for everything. We're gonna send you over to Trader Bacon. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. I'm sorry, 13. I cut you off right as you were saying take care. So you can go ahead and say take. There we go. Okay, I'm done screwing this up. Take care, everybody. Trader Bacon up now.